consult. Perfect. You guys can hear me there. I can hear me there at least. All right. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can share myself to the groups again. This live is for Unstoppable Confidence because I want you to have unstoppable confidence. And it's going to be fantastic. Let's see. Group. Unstoppable Confidence. How long do you need to take to heal? And okay. So I am going to be doing 2 lives because I am doing this series, right? So today's live right now, we're going to really be talking about unstoppable confidence. We're going to be talking about reclaiming yourself from trauma, from drama. And I'll introduce myself for a second. I know I'm on my personal page. Let me see if I can also share to my my like business page. Ooh, it looks like I can. Yes, I can. Sweet. Oh, I don't want to switch though. Nope, I don't want to switch. Okay, so I'll just share it to my business page later. And TikTok. Welcome, you guys. Please say hi. Let me know where you're from. Hey, Jackie. So good to see you here. Jamie, beautiful. Tanel, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about how long does it take to heal? One thing that I've heard forever, right? Even as before I became, before I got my PhD, before I took every certification underneath the sun to be trauma informed, before any of that, I would hear from yoga clients that they've been healing from trauma. They've been healing their trauma. They've been healing their reactions. They've been healing their autoimmune diseases. They've been healing for literal, like, decades, sometimes decades. And there was a time in my own personal journey that I felt, wow, I'm going to be healing for friggin' ever. And when do I get to start to live? Right? Because I was expecting this perfection. And so today I'm going to explain to you like how long it usually takes to heal from trauma, what life is like kind of after you've healed from trauma, and what you can do to actually get out of the way. Now, if this sounds good to you and you're like, you know what, I really want support in this. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of spinning my wheels. I'm sick and tired of doing this. Then you can schedule a consultation with me. If you're on Facebook, I put the link underneath there. It's just my calendar. If you're on TikTok, it is just take the link underneath my picture or DM me. I can also put up here, you can fill out this little form here. If I can figure out how to do it. Yeah, you can fill out this form right here. You'll get into Unstoppable Confidence. And it's not letting me push it. Hopefully we'll do it. You get into Unstoppable Confidence there. So I'll also put you in Unstoppable Confidence. You'll get a link and you'll be able to schedule a consultation with me. So Unstoppable Confidence is a free community. I'll tell you when I'm doing these master classes. I used to like schedule webinars and schedule things. And you know what? It's just not authentic for me. It's just not authentic. I literally get downloads. God inspires me to do things and I come out there and I do them. I give it away. And when I give from my heart in this way, it's just so much better and so much more authentic. I have a sea of things to teach that I absolutely am passionate about and love. Now, I can't teach about everything, right? We all have our wheelhouse of genius, and this is mine. If I don't know about something, I'm great, Asher. If I don't know about something, I'm going to absolutely positively tell you, like, I have no clue, go ask somebody else. But if I know about something or I have some idea, I've done some research, I love research, I'm a big researcher. I'm going to share that information with you. And the research that I've done around how long it takes to heal from trauma is quite profound. And and it really depends on how we treat the trauma. So, hey Rachel, thank you, love. So here's the thing. Before we jump in, I would love to know how long in the comments, how long you've been healing from your trauma, right? Doesn't matter what your trauma is. It doesn't matter how many times you went through it, right? CPTSD, PTSD, we're not here getting in a boxing match on like who has the worst trauma and is never going to live through it. Just how long have you been healing from it? Now, if you are still living in your trauma, okay, if you're still living with a person that's abusive, if you're still living um, in the chaos of being abused or being hurt, um, then you're not healing it. You're living in it. You're surviving it, right? You're coping with it. But if you're healing it, you might still be in the PTSD. You might be having, like you might still be in survival, right? You might still be locked in that survival mode, but you're not in it. You're not experiencing the trauma every day. So let me know if you're healing from it. Let's put a number 2 in the comments, and then let me know how long you've been healing from it. If you're still in it, give me a 1, and I'll give you some stuff for 1 as well. Good question. I choose to stop living in the chaos about 10 years ago. Perfect, Jenny. So 10 years ago, you got out of the chaos. Rachel's still at a 1. Perfect. That's okay, Rachel. I got you too. Okay. I got you too. That's why I want you guys to tell me so I can help you where you're at, right? Because there's no sense in not helping you where you're at. Yeah. So Jenny, how long of those 10 years have you been healing? And some of us start healing from the abuse before we're out of it, right? Sometimes we experience abuse, heal from the abuse, are healing it, and then get back into that same relationship that looks very much the same, and it reignites all of that shit, right? Or we have the autoimmune disease come up, or we just keep cycling it through, which I'll talk about in a second, in therapy, right? So out of it, 2 years, 5 years ago, started healing. 2, Holly, beautiful. So how did that work? 8 months since 8 months healing. Beautiful, beautiful. Good, Riley. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for sharing and trust me with that information. Beautiful. 3 years out, 4 years healing. Beautiful. Yeah. Oftentimes, especially in dynamics of relationship, we don't heal, right? We don't heal, oh, when we get out of it. No, we start healing in it, and that actually allows us to recognize abuse. So if you are still in it, so if you're in number 1 and you're still in it, here's my advice to you. 2 things for you to do. 1, go and research the power and control wheel. Just Google it and start understanding all the different ways that we abuse ourselves, we abuse another, and we allow ourselves to be abused or somebody else abuses us. Okay, and when I say allow, I mean we don't walk away. We make excuses we're understanding, we're compassionate. Now, my clients are usually really driven people. You're awake people, you're spiritually inclined people. You aren't assholes, okay? Like, not normally. So if you're drawn to me, I'm going to assume that you're awake. You're here to end the cycle of abuse. You're here to get over the healing so you can be of help, so you can be of inspiration, so you can inspire, right? That you're part of the solution, not part of the problem. But as part of the solution, we oftentimes are raised in a dynamic that is abusive. And if you're raised in a dynamic that's abusive, you do not understand what abuse is because it's quote unquote normal. This was me, right? It was just normal. This was my mom. It was just normal, right? Well, my parents did that to me. That's how I was raised, right? So so it was just normal. My I got beat every day um with my dad and my stepdad, my adopted dad. And and he was beat every day. And it was worse for him. He was taken off the reservation. He was put in a horrific school and they beat the shit out of them for just speaking their language, right? And so he didn't think much of it for beating me. And I was acting out because I had been sexually abused beforehand and I was just a wild child because my nervous system was all out of whack because I was being abused as a child before him. So this said, it was all normal, right? And that's how we're raised. So, first, if you're in it, go and study the power and control wheel. Okay. That was extremely eye opening for me. I knew most of this stuff, but in school, when we opened it up and I was like, there was like, this is how abuse works. This is what it looks like in families. This is how it is. And it was right there in front of me. I could go, oh, I experienced that. I experienced that. I experienced that. I experienced that. Okay. Then also go and ask yourself, where is my nervous system? And you can do this by two things. One, you can take the ACEs test, right? You can also look that up online. And I'm going to get to you number twos in a second. So let's hold on. But figure out where your nervous system is and start resetting your nervous system. And you can reset it. And if you don't know how, join Unstoppable Confidence, join my free group, start that, join my Safe, Secures, and Successfuls, join me there, and we'll start reprogramming your nervous system. Hey, Erica. Hey, Kevin. Hi, guys. And we're gonna dive into there a little bit in just a second. Okay. So start reprogramming your nervous system, start recognizing abuse. And then abuse happens in three ways. First, we're going to accept it from others. If you don't recognize it, you're just going to accept it from others. If you were raised in it and it's been normalized, you're just going to accept it in others. Doesn't mean it feels good, but you're going to internalize it as if you deserve it. You're also going to understand where they're coming from. Oh, well, he was just having a bad day. She was just having a bad day. Oh, she's just stressed out. Oh, it's just the alcohol. Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that, right? It's all these excuses. We have we go one or two ways. We're either extraordinarily compassionate and understanding, or or we are assholes. And we might fluctuate back and forth throughout our lives. I can relate. I took so much abuse in my life and I blame myself. Exactly, Erica, right? Oh, if I was only better, if I was only smarter, if I was only thinner, if I was only, I mean, this is my story. If I was only smarter and I was only thinner, right? If I was only smarter and I was only thinner, like everything would be better, right? And when I say like smarter and thinner, I'm talking about like I graduated in high school in 3 years with my cosmetology license and a full ride to CU Boulder with a 3.8 GPA, right? Graduated with my PhD with honors, right? Like smarter, right? Dyslexia, yes, but smarter was that. Thinner for me was thinner than 12% body fat. Like, right? There's like, if you're a driven, perfect Erica, you never could have been enough, no matter how much, because these internal beliefs, they have to change, and we're going to get into that. That's part of healing, and we're going to get into that in a second. Okay. But if you're just joining and you don't know me and you're like, okay, I've listened to this person long enough. Who the hell is this person? First, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your time. I know it's kind of impromptu. This is how I roll, but I am a trauma transformer. I have been my whole life. That's my soul mission, my soul calling. Very young, I started working with energies and electromagnetic fields. Then I learned more about how irregulated emotion can run somebody's life, and I got to heal that. Then I learned a lot more about negative thoughts And I lived on an ashram, got to learn about managing my thoughts. And then I got to learn about health. I got cancer and got to learn about my physical body and health. And so I did all of this before I was about 13, definitely before I was 21. And I was raised in chaos. Okay, I was raised in chaos. And so all of this brought me to the forefront when I was about 13 years old to help me in the cycle of abuse on both sides of my family. And when I was 21, I got cancer and I got really into how the body keeps a score. Then I lived on an ashram and really learned how to train my mind. The whole time at 14, I started studying the chakras, the chakra systems, energy, and I've been seeing angels and guides and listening to spirit my entire life. Okay. I've always been that weird girl. And I've tried to fit in everybody's box around it. And I'm saying fuck the box this year, finally, at 50. It says me too, right? Right. So if you can relate, like you're in the right place, this is all going to be affirming for you, Erica, or you might have some ahas, right? I might have been someplace or done something that you go, ooh, and you can just have a quantum leap. And that's my invitation for you today. All right. So, all of that said, I did get my doctorate, my PhD in transpersonal psychology. I studied the effects of childhood abuse, sexual abuse specifically, and trauma and consciousness, how trauma affects our souls, and how our souls affect our body and consciousness, and what happens when we're disassociated or we go through what would cause disassociation or PTSD or CPTSD, or sometimes it's expressed as narcissism, sometimes it's expressed as egoism, sometimes it's expressed as borderline. Okay. And sometimes it's even expressed as bipolar. When it's all trauma induced. So all of these things I studied and I looked at, and then I've been helping people step back into their power, reclaim their identities, and heal in record time. Because what has happened in this world and why I'm doing this live right now is because so many people tell me, well, it takes time to heal. And no, it does not. It does not. It takes as much time to heal as you want it to. Exactly, Erica. Yeah, it takes as much time to heal as you want it to. And my ex-husband, right, I don't know, it was kind of like when we were breaking up, he said the most beautiful thing to me. He said, "You know what, Lisha, like, or Antiqua, he called me, but Antiqua, like, you have every right to be pissed off, angry, upset, all this shit your entire life, and you haven't chosen to be that way." And that freedom from this person that I gave total authority to, by the way, he got to decide what I was worthy of, what I wasn't worthy of, like when I was lovable, when I wasn't lovable. Like this man taught me all about giving away my personal authority. And when he said that, that was like the solidifier for me, because I was like, you know what, you're right. I can stay pissed off, upset, and feeling like crap for as long as I wanted to, but I didn't. I had every excuse to stay miserable, every excuse to stay pissed, every excuse to stay unhealthy, right? And yet, the therapeutic system that I got my degree in, the therapeutic system and the medical system in general, is set up to keep us in that excuse. So when you're in that excuse, not validating yourself, then yeah, you get to be pissed off for as long as you want to be. You get to be sick inside as long as you want to be. You get to be fighting to be kind, fighting to be lovable enough, fighting to be sweet enough, fighting to be smart enough, fighting to be rich enough, fighting to be whatever your qualifications are in your head enough. You get to identify with the diseases for as long as you want. Okay. You get to identify with the diseases as long as you want. Now, once you're done identifying with the diseases, once you can say, you know what? No, like I have proven to myself I'm a good enough person. I'm proven to myself that I don't need to fight against my own body. that my body's not the enemy, then your autoimmune disease will start to heal. You'll find answers that you'll be like, oh, there it is, right? When when you can look at your physical illnesses as like signs from your body, okay? Either genetic signs that you get to take care of and learn to love your body through, like me and my celiac, right? My celiac disease, it might go away. I might never know if it does because I might not test it. But that is something that is teaching me love and compassion. Because I could live, getting sicker and sicker and sicker and having it give me depression and dysphoria and everything. I could have lived like that my whole life and continuously gotten more and more confused. But once I knew what was going on with me, then I could love me, right? So do you have a dis-ease, or do you have a something in your body that you get that's unique to you, but maybe it's a disorder that you get to care for, that you get to live with, that you get to love yourself through? That's unconditional love, right? Even though you're not perfect, even though it's not just so, you're still lovable. You're still going to love yourself. You're still going to love God through you, right? Hi. So, two, then you have trauma induced illnesses, trauma induced autoimmune diseases, right? That when you face that trauma, when you face whatever you went through, not to remember it, you guys, this is where healing gets you stuck. This is where it becomes a bazillion-dollar business. Okay. But once you're able to look at whatever you went through, doesn't mean you have to remember it fully, but you get to acknowledge that it happened, and you get to acknowledge that you lived through it, and you get to acknowledge that you won't judge yourself for it, be angry at yourself for it, blame yourself for it anymore. That you'll forgive yourself. And once that happens, then usually those autoimmune diseases go away. No, you don't have permission to read me. Those autoimmune diseases go away, right? And that's pretty amazing. I've done this with my cancer many, many times, like many times, about it 3 times. But one of the last times it was, chips on my shoulder, anger. Okay. I had to heal anger, chips on my shoulder. The one on my back, I have a beautiful scar there. That was letting things get on my nerves, giving me the chips on my fucking shoulder, right? So these 2 got healed really fast because the one on my back, I did deep work on through radiation and everything else too, through the chips on my shoulder. Because I was so compassionate. I was so understanding. I was like, oh, I get it. Oh, you can just come into my house. You can just do whatever you want, right? I'm not going to speak anything. I was scared. And you know what? I'll admit, like, I hate pissing off my kids. I hate it. I just want them to love me. Like, they are the hardest people for me to piss off and get angry at me and stand my ground with. They just are. They're my biggest teachers. And a lot of that was healing that on my back and really setting some strong boundaries with my kids, and also giving myself permission to say what's on my mind and what's bothering me. I also have been single for 3 years because of that. So what would tailbone pain is not letting shit go. Okay. It's not trusting. It's not trusting that you're grounded, right? Not being grounded in your own truth, Allie. Mm-hmm. So, and it's all about that root chakra. So it's safety, security, tailbone stuff. Yep. So who's in charge of your safety and your security, right? Look at that and then heal that trauma. But how do you heal trauma quickly? Boom. You go, boom. I can accept that it happened and I'm going to heal it. Now, when you heal trauma, this is where people get fucked up. What is OCD, anxiety, and depression? So everybody, you guys, let me talk about this. This is so good, Jason. Thank you for bringing this up. If you have anxiety or depression, guess what? So does every fucking buddy else. Let's stop letting capitalism make these things a reason for you to go on drugs, to get on more drugs, to get on more drugs, to get on more drugs. Let's learn how to cope with anxiety. Anxiety is telling you something is off, something is wrong. Find your alignment again. Be honest with yourself. That might mean disappointing somebody else. That might mean saying no. That might mean walking away. Depression means you have suppressed, repressed, and depressed your emotions. It's an emotional feeling. Okay. So, what are you suppressing, repressing to depress? And what do you need to express? Okay. To get it out there. Now, once we can stop making all this wrong, then we can learn how to be emotionally intelligent. And I'm going to be doing a class later on this evening on masculine and feminine intelligence and the emotional body and the mental body, and how we all, females or males, get to learn how to use both of our systems, both of our power zones. But when one is turned off, we're all imbalanced. Okay. So a lot of people aren't allowed to feel because you haven't been allowed to feel, right? I don't know about you, but my dad would give me something to cry about if I was crying while he was beating my ass with a belt. When I first got married, I wasn't married yet, but when my ex-husband, I brought him to Colorado, and I remember him looking at me because I was like taking him around, showing him where I was abused and shit. Yes, I work with cluster bees. I love cluster bees. Guys are my favorite. But I don't. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't treat cluster bees. I work with a lot of cluster bees that are sick of the old system that hasn't worked for them and are open to something different. And we reclaim your power. You reclaim your power. You identify yourself. And if it's trauma induced cluster bee, it goes away. And I've had a lot of success with it. A lot of success with it. People have written books about me having success with their cluster bees. Okay. That said, I what was I saying? I got distracted from the cluster bee. Okay, that said, the balance there, right? You got to know how to feel and you got to know how to think. And if you were told how to think and not taught how to think for yourself, then you're always going to be looking for answers outside of yourself. And if this is what you're doing, then you're imbalanced and you're ran by your emotional body. Okay. Your emotional body needs your brain. Your brain needs your emotions. If you don't know how to feel because you were told how to feel or not to feel or stifled to feel or depressed your feelings, you don't know how to express all of the feelings, the whole spectrum of frequency of feelings, then in all honesty, all you can do is think and you have racing brain and your brain is exhausted and tired and you can't figure things out because you need to feel things out. And if all you're doing is feeling things out because you have borderline, okay, and you're feeling things out and feeling things out and feeling things out, you don't know what the fuck you want because you can't think. You have no logic. You need the banks of the river to direct where you're going, and you need the water to move you so you can paddle down that stream. Then, after you get that aligned, then it's about action. Then it's about spirit. Okay. Then it's about getting your body in alignment. Then it's about getting your vibration, your frequency in alignment so you can actually create and go where you're going and you're not paddling upstream anymore. You're not fighting against yourself anymore. So in my Amazing You journey that I walk people through, or you can get the book online, or you can buy online, or you can join the You Matter Club. I mean, there's so many different ways I teach this because some people have $33 to invest, right? And so you can go on Amazon, you can get the journey, you can do it yourself. Some people have more than that and they want coaching. Some people want to work with me privately, and we got that, right? But in this Amazing You journey, however you get it, you literally start getting to know yourself on all these levels and stop disassociating from your truth, disassociating from who you are. And then healing can happen quickly. Okay. So if you're in a level 2 and you've been healing for more than 2 years, then I'm going to gather this. 1, you're fighting your body. You're making it wrong. You're dumbing it down. You're pretending like it's the problem. It needs to be fixed. And you're not listening to it. 2, you're going back to therapy Yes, all my books are on Amazon. You can just look up my name, Patricia, Lisha Antiqua or Dr. Lisha Antiqua. The specific journal I'm talking about is called My Amazing You Journal. Yeah, but all five of my books are on Amazon. And I have two more coming out, but I'm launching them correctly. They're my treatment plans and my legacy. So they're coming out soon. I've been doing them privately with people for the last 10 years. It's 2010, 15 years. Okay. So that said, two, you're in therapy and you're just talking about it. Your brain does not know the difference between what you're regurgitating and talking about than than what's happening. And I'm not saying don't talk about it. I am not of the spiritual mind of don't talk about it, because I will tell you, you cannot cover up shit and pretend like with whipped cream and pretend like it's a pie and take a bite out of it and it tastes good. No. If it comes up, you got to look at it. You get to acknowledge what happened in your life. You get to thrive through it. You've already survived. So we don't want to deny it. Sometimes we need to have a safe place to talk about it. Sometimes we need validation. But if you have a therapist that wants to dig into that and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it for years, that's what they've been taught. It's not our fault. It is a money-making gimmick from the insurance companies, just like everything else. And it's going to keep you stuck. Why? Because your electromagnetic field and your brain and your nervous system is going to reprocess that. So you wonder why bad shit keeps happening to you. You wonder why things aren't showing up in your life the way that you should. You wonder why, blah, blah, blah. Why is it? Because one, you're talking to people that are trying to solve it, therefore giving it more power. Or two, you are, um, or two, you are talking to people that want you to keep talking about it. I want you to find somebody to talk to, and you can talk to me if you'd like, that is going to validate it, help you find the lesson in it, and move it. Okay? Then stop fucking talking about it. Same thing with your feelings. Your feelings have a story, they also have a reaction. Connect with your feelings, have those feelings, and feel great. Okay? And somebody on here talking about shit, which is so funny. Okay. So that said, then you have your electromagnetic field. Then your vibration will change. Then how people treat you will change. People just start dropping out of your life. They'll disappear. Jobs will disappear. Opportunities will disappear. Every time you up level, things are going to shift and disappear. It's scary as shit. I just went through it again. Right? This is when you get to walk through that faith. Right? This is when you step into your faith. This is when you walk through it. Right, Dee? This is when your brain goes, well, do you choose this way? We don't know that way. This is happiness. This is joy. This is doing what you want in life. This is living into your dreams. We know this way. This is scarcity. This is looking for the next boyfriend or the man that's going to solve all the problems. This is that validation that we've been seeking forever. It's right here in that next job, the next opportunity, whatever that is. Come over here, it's saying. Go to the next therapist session over here. Talk about your problem again over here. If you keep going over here, you're going to stay stuck. Find somebody, find me, and we're going to go over here. If you've been a survivor of abuse for a long time, I bet you $1,000 you do not know what you want. You do not know what happiness is, and you don't know what that means to you. I'm sick to death of talking about it. Exactly. You're sick and tired of talking about it. Stop talking about it. That's not going to solve the problem. It is not the problem. You survived. You survived. If it comes up, talk about it. Right? My shit, I circle around the drain sometimes. My shit comes up. Just this last week, my shit came up again. I looked down and I was like, oh, this is mom and dad taking that money again for gas money when I cleaned the horse stables for so long. This is a really big pain for me. I keep revisiting this. Okay, right. Oh, happened there again. I'm going to heal that more, heal that more, heal that more, heal that more. Boop. Okay, let's shift this situation. Right? It's not about denying your life experiences. It's not about it never showing up again. You did not take 6 steps backwards or 2 or 1. What just happened to you is you're up a level on the spiralness of healing, and you're looking down from a new perspective and going, oh, this is this string. And you can either get caught up in it again, and they can give you another pill, and you can go to therapy for another 5 years, and you can revisit your childhood trauma for the 1800th time. Or you can say, okay, little child of me, I love you. I see you. That is scary. Thank you for trying to save my ass in this situation again. And I got you. So this is where you reattach your power, you reclaim your power. And this is how I help people heal in 12 weeks to 1 year from horrific shit that happened to them their whole lives and from that cycle of abuse. Now, if you're in the cycle of abuse, you got to recognize it and get out of it. Okay. This is not for you. That is when therapy is really great. You go in, you talk to a therapist, you get coping skills. We need coping skills so you can deal with your anxiety, you can deal with your depression, right? We need those coping skills. Is this making sense? But this is not, it's just not a life sentence. Now, you'll get tested again. You'll get tested. Will you react the same way to the same situation again? This is your soul saying, did she actually graduate? Did he actually graduate? And if you didn't, you're going to have that same reaction in the same way, and you'll find yourself 4 years later doing the same thing, right? Maybe it'll be 4 weeks later. Maybe it'll be 15 minutes later. We all have breakdowns. Doesn't mean that you fucked up. It just means how fast can you recognize that breakdown, forgive yourself for that breakdown, and say, okay, what can I do differently now? That's healing. How can I love myself through this now? That's healing. So when it comes to trauma, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the community and subscribing. So when we go through trauma, we're victimized by something. Could be a car accident, could be a move, could be a divorce, could be abuse, whatever it is. Okay. When we come out of that victimization, we survived it. This is the processing part. This is where big pharma, okay, this is poverty. This is where big pharma grabs us. This is where the institution of talk about it, deal with it, you're broken, you need to be fixed, indoctrinates you and keeps you there. Nothing is broken about you. Nothing. You might have ADHD or autism or something that you get to manage. You might have a physical illness that you get to love yourself through for the rest of your life. Maybe you have type 1 diabetes. Maybe you have celiac like me, right? Maybe you have something that your body has to deal with, right? And then you know me now. And or maybe you have a mental something, right? Maybe you have a mental something that is genetic that you were raised with, like autism or ADHD or some types of bipolar. It just means that you get to learn how to take care of yourself through it. Maybe you have a hormonal or emotional imbalance in your body. Okay. Maybe you have anxiety disorder, right? That means that your body produces, you need to rebalance your nervous system. You get to take care of your nervous system. You get to do things for you that fill you with joy and peace and love and trust. You get to be more patient with you because of that. Maybe you have that. We have things that are personal to ourselves that we get to learn that we have to unconditionally learn how to love and take care of ourselves. It's not about somebody else taking care of ourselves. But when it comes to trauma, so a lot of times when you heal the trauma, some of this fight inside of your body for autoimmune diseases go away. A lot of it does. Your digestive system works again. Your mind is nice to you. You know how to think again. The anxiety goes away. The depression goes away. This negative self-talk, the personal abuse goes away. Your emotional body gets more regulated. You're able to have fun. You're able to trust. You're able to enjoy. You're able to have pleasure. You're able to have big O's again. Many, many O's. Okay. And you're able to manifest. You're able to effortlessly call in what you want. You want to live in the 5D. You want to elevate, you guys. Can't elevate if you're stuck in drama and trauma. You can go in and out of it, but are you committed to that? I love QHHT. Done it, certified in it, love it. Yes. Appreciate it. Love past life readings, all of those things. Hypnosis of all sorts. Okay. Um, and that's where you clear your electromagnetic field. You get to take responsibility for what you give authority to. It could be past lives. It could be this lifetime. It could be mom, dad, could be God's source, could be a God that you think is judging you, right? Like, and mad at you and made all these bad things happen to you when no, no. So that's your electromagnetic field. You get to learn how to run your electromagnetic field. And your electromagnetic field, you guys, just so you know, and I'll talk a lot more about this in my class later on tonight if you want to join me for masculine and feminine energy and how this runs in our body. That masterclass, I'm just inspired to do these right now. So we're going to do it. Then you won't hear from me a while. I'll go back in, I'll hibernate, and then I'll come back out and I'll teach. Like, this is how it is. So make sure to subscribe and join my free group so you're in the loop for when we come live in Unstoppable Confidence. And then definitely, if this is speaking to you, let's work together. Okay, we can do 12-week programs. We can do a year program through the Amazing You system where we heal all of this. 12-week program is an activation series. Okay, the other one is more coaching, therapeutic kind of, but coaching where we'll talk about the past and we'll go through there. Okay. Um, and activate all these parts of you. The aspect of your etheric field that is energetic is where you manifest from. It's your vibration. But it's very, very real on this planet. It's not your spiritual self. It is not your soul. What makes it have power in church, in prayer and stuff, is the fact that it's where we give our authority. But what makes your vibration you and why it can change and why we attract different things into our life through our vibration, right? It's a vibe, it's a being, is because it's when our physical body, mental body, and emotional body are aligned. At that alignment, that's what creates your vibration. So if your physical body and your mental body are pissed off and hate you and you can't trust yourself and your feelings are all over the place and they're all subject to how Joe feels about you or how much money you're making at your job or the weather outside or whatever you're putting it on, then that chaos will create chaos in your vibration, which will create chaos in your life. Mo, I would love to. I would be, oh my gosh, where are you at? That makes me cry. Because I've always vibed with you. So that makes me cry. That makes me tear up. So yes, let's talk about that. I would absolutely love that. I'd be so honored. So honored. I've actually been praying for somebody that I can work with, sing with, do my healing with, and teach with. Okay. Tiffany, you need to hear that. Perfect. Perfect. So here's this is why, right? So we go out of alignment. But here's the thing with trauma survivors. Thank you, love. Thank you for the gift. I so appreciate that. I think I made like $1.50 for these classes from TikTok. I freaking love that. Okay. So Mo, you're in St. Pete? Are you serious? How did I get to you? Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked. I mean, you're still the same Mo that was like, has been around forever, right? Okay. Anyway, I think I only know one Mo. Okay. That's it. So you have your vibration, right? You want to get in the same line. Here's the thing with trauma. I'm going to blow your mind. Okay, this is worth $1 million. Literally, this will save your life. If you really hear me, you ready? Take a deep breath first. Take a deep breath. Your soul will not come back into your body to vibrate effortlessly as you if your body, your mind, or your emotions hate themselves. And if they're hating themselves, they're not going to align with one another. And if they don't align with one another, you'll always be in chaos and struggle. Doesn't mean be perfect. This is not be perfect. This means like yourself. Like yourself if you're imperfect. Like yourself if life sucks. Like yourself when everything is falling apart and you're upgrading again. Like yourself when you're sick. Like yourself when your brain is running ragged and you can't sleep at night. Like yourself when you're depressed. Like yourself when you're mad. Like yourself when you're frustrated. Like yourself, which means choose yourself. And for survivors of childhood abuse, survivors of sexual abuse at any age, survivors of child abuse of any kind, we don't know how to choose. Allison, awesome. I cannot wait to talk to you. Thank you for scheduling a consultation. This is when my life changed. This is when my clients change. Then you get to go through it and you get to choose. But guess what? You got to choose. You don't have to choose me. I got to choose me. I got to like who I am. And if there's pieces of me that I'm fighting because I'm a posh girl that wants to live with a clawfoot tub and go to the spa every day and I don't want to admit it because how dare I admit that I'm that girl? I got to get over it. I got to make it okay. Maybe I do want a Birkin bag, and that's okay. But you know what? I can also want those things and not know anything about fashion, not know anything about any of those things, and not be that girl. I can be a no makeup, sundress, hippie all at the same time. And my special sauce is my special sauce. I used to think that I had to fit into some sort of box. And that box was my husband's box or my next boyfriend's box or school's box or my religion's box or some friggin' box. Because that's how I was raised, and I bet that's how you were raised too, whether you're abused or not. And what my clients have taught me in the last 15 years, that there is no other beautiful box. The most beautiful box is the box that they construct for themselves. And once they do, they heal. Once they do, they're in remission. They can blame God, they can blame whatever, they can blame me, but it's them. They did it. They liked themselves. They looked at the hard things. They healed the fight within. And so their body stopped fighting against itself. So their mind stopped beating themselves up. So their emotions started to go into the flow. So their vibrations balanced out and their life got more easeful. And whether they're living on the street and they're at peace with that, and a campground or an RV or traveling the world with a backpack on, or they're living in a mansion on a hill driving a fucking blue Bentley that's so damn sexy I get wet thinking about it. I love that car. Look at me. I'm just admitting that I'm like really into this. You guys, this is actually really hard for me because I've been like just felt really like undeserving of some things my whole life. And it's really hard for me to admit, like, what really turns my body on is this beautiful Bentley that I saw. I named my dog Bentley, this beautiful Bentley that I saw. I mean, it's so gorgeous. I have pictures in. It drove past me the other day, and I was like, oh my God. I used to like the G-Wagon. I love the G-Wagon still. I'm a car person. My grandpa's a car person, and he sold cars. Anyway, that's a whole different story. So it's in my bones. But that said, this Bentley, no, I knew it because I drive a 300 and there's that. But there's a new Bentley that actually looks kind of like the new Chrysler 300s. Oh, okay, totally off topic. Life will flow. I don't have the Bentley yet. I don't have any of that yet, right? But life will flow. Allow yourself to like what you like. If you're judging what you like, saying, well, that's unreasonable, or I'll never have one of those, or oh, that's too pompous, or that's too much, or that's not enough. Either way, that's that's re-traumatizing your body. Does that make sense? So anyway, if it fascinates me about a person could be so smart, then earn a PhD. Because I earned my PhD in transpersonal psychology and I proved all of this stuff in my PhD. Yeah. So my PhD is about this actually. Consciousness and the effects of trauma and trauma abuse. You had a dog named Bentley too? Yay! Yay! Two are Bentleys. Yeah, Bentley's in Alaska. I hope Bentley's okay. I heard Bentley is sad right now and anxious. But anyway, we'll pray for Bentley. Everybody, please say a prayer for Bentley. He was the best dog. As is this one. You're the best dog too. You're the best dog too. All right. All right. Any questions before we pop off? I do have to work at Gateway University. If you are interested in higher education and utilizing your life experiences for a degree in psychology, helping people, or business psychology and leadership, anything like that, master's and or doctorate, contact me. I now work with the university, Gateway University, and we have some beautiful programs if this is something that interests you in diving deeper in your own studies. Uh, I don't know what I like anymore. I've been stuck in the worst depression. It's so bad. Exactly, 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 exactly. So, let's see. So to help this one, sometimes we can just get help like with um doctors can help and medicines can help to help balance out the hormones and the depression. But one thing that is really great about depression is it's what are you suppressing? So I'd be journaling and ask myself, like, what am I suppressing? What am I not allowed to feel? What did they tell me I'm not allowed to feel? What am I telling myself I'm not allowed to feel? Um, and then what did I used to like? And am I willing to try it again? And your ego, your self will fight that. So, David, how best to learn individual masculine feminine balance? We're going to be talking about that tonight. So, I'm doing that master class tonight. I have to work at Gateway University now. Um, I promised 2 lives today. So, I was just called. I'm just called David. So, thanks for joining me for this one. I'm going to be doing masculine and feminine balanced energy and how to balance that and like how to do that within yourself, and then you can know your personality types and all of that. I have an interview with Who's Who at 5, and then after that interview, I'm gonna come on live. Um, yeah, or I might do it before the interview. We'll see how long I'm at work for. So good to see you, Tiki Tonk. So beautiful to see you. Thank you for following. You guys, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Definitely give me a follow. I'll be back on live tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about the individual balance of masculine and feminine and dating after trauma, but dating in general. And Bridget, feel free to contact me. Join my free group um, at lishaantiqua.com, Unstoppable Confidence. Um, Tans, I'm ate up with trauma. I've worked with people that were literally locked in cages and watched people die. I've worked with people that were sex trafficked. I've worked with people that were abused their whole lives by their moms and dads. I've worked with some horrific people eaten up by trauma that have found themselves, stopped fighting themselves, stopped reliving their trauma because they stopped fighting that they had it and loving themselves through the Amazing You system. So if you've gone through enough therapy and you've hashed it out enough and you're ready for that next step, feel free to contact me whenever you're ready. I just found you this morning. I want to learn more about the psyche of my dreams. Jen, I would love to have that conversation. I also do a lot of coaching um, around um, around that. And I also train coaches and yoga instructors and stuff, you guys. So if you're interested in taking your message to the next level, writing your book and stuff like that, you can contact me too. I know that's kind of a lot. I have a 6 to 8 commitment. I'll look when I get back. Would like to discuss one-on-one if you're open sometime. Absolutely, David. So at the top of that thread, David, there's a link to a consultation um, where I talk more, and then, if it feels aligned, we can work together in an extended period. But the first is my calendar. Just go ahead and click that link and let's set up a time to talk. I would love that. Tracy, hi, beautiful. Thank you for all you're doing in the world. All right, you guys. I will be back later on today to talk about masculine and feminine energy. Thank you for this trauma conversation. And I really appreciate you, right? We are growing together, we are healing together. I don't know about you, but unless you've gone through it, it is really hard for somebody to understand. And so we are here to lift up those who have yet to be able to say, I survived it, and to help them step into, I survived it, and help them to step into, I am now living beyond it, and help them step into their aligned frequency so they can thrive and life can get easier. Like we can trust life again. right? And it's a process. You might go in and out of trusting life. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to be perfect, right? That's where compassion comes in. That's where liking ourselves comes in. That's where calling yourself home comes in. So I hope that this aligned with you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. See. All right, you guys. Mwah. So much love. Thank you for being here. Let me put this up really fast. If you guys want to talk, um, you can direct message me there as well.